Everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So now more than ever, with COVID just completely swallowing up the United States and millions of Americans on the brink of financial ruin, we need to end surprise medical billing in this country. And if you're not familiar with what that is, you're very lucky because most Americans at one time or another have experienced this in their lives. So for anybody maybe listening in another country who is fortunate enough because your government realizes that healthcare is a right and they're not being bribed by insurance companies, as our elected leaders are, so many of them, I will explain. So surprise medical billing occurs when you believe that you're following the rules. You do something like you go to a hospital and you choose one that's in your network. It's contracted with your insurance company, so you know you're going to get the most favorable rates, you're going to get their contracted rates, and you're going to get a bill that you're expecting, right? You're going to have a copay, you're going to have a deductible, and that should be it. However, that hospital, while you're laying in a hospital bed, could send a doctor in. He or she may be doing rounds and they send them in to see you, to check on you, and they bill for their services. Or you could go to a doctor and they send your blood into a non-contracted lab. Or maybe you're going in for surgery and you go under the knife and that surgeon brings in an anesthesiologist to put you under, and that anesthesiologist is out of network for you. So even though it's not your fault, no one bothered to warn you, you end up with a massive bill at full price for that service. Whatever their non-insurance rate is, you owe the full amount and you never saw it coming. And that's on top of your traditional copays and deductibles for the rest of whatever treatment you received that was in network. And then to top it all off, the bill that you weren't expecting, that full price bill, typically with most insurance companies does not count towards your maximum copay and deductible for the year. Because you went out of network, because that provider wasn't contracted with your insurance company, that money doesn't matter. Even if it costs you $20,000, it won't matter. Won't go towards your deductible and maximum copay for the year. So some people never recover from these massive bills. It destroys their credit. Many have to file for bankruptcy, and it destroys their life. It can destroy your future, and it's due to no fault of their own. So here's why I'm bringing this up. And I never thought I'd say this, but I'm going to give credit to Nancy Pelosi because one of her staffers named Wendell Primus was planning to submit a proposal to Mitch McConnell. That proposal would have added a reform to surprise medical billing. So they're trying to reform this so that it gets rid of it. They wanted to add this to the latest stimulus package that they were hoping to pass. However, establishment Democrat scumbag Neal stepped in and quashed it. And this is not the first time. I've talked about this on the show. Last year, Neal stepped in and he killed a Senate deal that would have ended surprise medical billing. And in regard to this go round, one member of Congress was quoted on the matter when interviewed by The Intercept, and they said, quote, "The one stumbling block has been, of course, Ritchie trying to scuttle it." So why? Why does Neal keep sticking his finger in the eye of terrified and desperate Americans? Well, money, of course. Neal's top donors are private equity firms. Now, you may be saying, what does that have to do with medical bills? So I'll explain it. Neal's top donor in the last election cycle was a firm called Blackstone. This is a private equity firm. And Blackstone and other private equity groups rake in tons of money off of exorbitant medical bills that you weren't expecting. So according to The Intercept, quote, private equity firms have purchased providers and arranged service to maximize the number of times an out-of-network doctor can treat a patient. So they're not just profiting off of a random practice, right? They're not just profiting when, oh, whoops, what do you know? Luck of the draw. You just happen to get an out-of-network doctor or lab or whatever the case may be. Wow, that's horrible. Too bad it happened to you. No, they're actively working. These private equity firms are actively working to create the situations and maximize the number of patients that are treated by out-of-network doctors, hospitals, whatever the case may be. This is why Richard Neal should have been voted out in November, and why I kept telling everyone, why I kept doing stories about his progressive challenger. Alex Morse was our best hope for getting rid of things like this. So if you live in Massachusetts, Alex Morse is likely to run again in 2 years. You better get off your ass and go vote for him. Either Massachusetts residents didn't pay attention to the issues, or they decided that it just wasn't important enough to get rid of this corrupt corporate puppet. I'd love to talk to some of them now. You know, now that COVID is spiking in their state, the daily rates in Massachusetts are higher. They're higher than they were prior to the election, and even during the peak in April. So this is why liberals need to start paying attention to policies rather than personality. You may like someone. You may think, oh, they're such a nice person. They say all the right things. They seem like a great guy or a great gal. You have to review their history. You need to pay attention to what companies line their pockets, most importantly, because that is going to tell you whether or not they have your best interests at heart. Not a big smile, not a great personality, not, oh, they tell you everything you want to hear. No, stop listening to what they say. Go look at their history. Go look at what they vote on. Go look at what they block. And for the love of God, above all, look at who puts money into their coffers. That is who they're pandering to. That is who they care about. And I don't give a damn if you are donating $5 a month, $100 a month, whatever the case may be. You can't keep up with these corporations. Because of Citizens United, we have no leverage. And the only truly honest and legitimate Democrats in the House and the Senate are the ones who don't take corporate money. And I don't care what you say. I don't care if you love Kamala. I don't care if you love Nancy Pelosi. They're all on the take. They all take money from corporate interests. It's why we can't get a damn thing done. Because the only thing that they're going to pass, the only thing that they're going to work with Republicans on that will make it through are the things that we don't want or shouldn't want. They're the things that their donors, their collective donors, agree with. Yes, they'll wear kente cloth all day long. Their corporate donors are totally okay with that. Yes, they'll put Black people in positions they've never been in before. They'll put gay people in positions they've never been in before. Their corporate donors are totally okay with that. But if you want to take away money, you want to change the law so that it financially benefits the working class people in this country and not the wealthy or the corporations, oh no. No. They will have every excuse in the book and they will block it at every turn. It's why we don't have Medicare for all right now, which is 70% majoritarian view in this country. And we never will as long as we allow our representatives to take money from corporate interests. As long as they get money from the insurance companies and big pharma, we don't stand a chance. That is the one and true reason. And until you get rid of people like Richard Neal and replace him with a true progressive that takes money only from small dollar donors like you and I, like Alex Morse, you're going to have to look over your shoulder and be terrified that you are going to get hit with one of these surprise medical bills that could end up ruining your life. So I'm begging of you, Massachusetts residents, pay attention and get rid of this guy in 2 years. All right, guys, enough from my rant. As always, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll talk with you soon. Take care. Thanks for listening to Plants and Politics. The only way we can take our country and power back is to spread the truth and build an army. So remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again.